So we are in the midst of the summer of 2023 and I thought it was time to reflect on the fragrances that I wore the most in fall, winter and spring of 2022 going into 2023. I picked the 10 most worn fragrances, so we are going to take a look. Without further ado, let's roll the video. Hi guys and welcome to the channel once again, Fragrance with Steve. My name is Steven. We talk about fragrances, obviously. That's what you're here for. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do so because it's free and it helps me out. So, first and foremost, I'm going to start out with an old favorite, a fragrance that I have worn extensively over the last 2 years. This will be no surprise, 1 million, the Eau de Toilette. It made my confessions video 3 years ago. I've grown to love this fragrance. I took a break from it for the past couple of months, not because I got tired, but because I got new favorites. And the first one that kind of replaced my addiction, can you guess? Yeah, it's a Montal. And this one was a surprise for me because usually Montal fragrances have that typical Montal DNA, the same type of vibe. I can't really explain, but if you know, you know. It has a certain characteristic feel when you smell a Montal fragrance. But this one is really unique and it is very much Montal in the sense that it's a beast mode fragrance. Very heavy on the saffron and the musk. It has a cotton candy vibe, maybe slightly reminiscent to Baccarat Rouge 540, but much more intense on the woody saffron, and it's all over the place. This one projects like a beast. I really have grown to love this fragrance. It is one of the best Montal fragrances to date. And yeah, let me know if I should do a full review on this one in the comments. The next one on this list, the third fragrance I wore a lot was Hermes. More so in the spring of this year rather than fall and winter of 2022. But still I wore it quite a number of times because this fragrance is just like a Swiss Army knife. Let's be honest, at this point you know what it is. This is vetiver and citrus done just like, you know, how it should be. You know, this is perfection, this is masculine elegance in a bottle. Number 4 on this list, and this is going to be from the house of Sergio. First house that released this fragrance was actually Sospiro, and it was also a black bottle, but it had a different design. For those of you who don't know, Sospiro is by the same brand, by the same owner actually, Sergio, who makes Sergio. So Sospiro was originally released and as another brand, but most of the compositions that were released, most of the fragrances by Sospiro are now rebottled under the name of Sergio. So this is, I'm sure it has been reformulated at some point, but it's still really close to the original. I can't really pick up any major differences whatsoever. I'd say it's 99% identical. It's still really potent, and the notes are beautiful. This fragrance has leather, it has a fruitiness in the opening, it has a floral touch in the mid, and it has like a very distinct, remarkable presence. When you wear it, you feel majestic, and this is type of fragrance that I've been looking for. You know, this type of fragrance will make an impression. So yeah, Opera by Sospiro, another beast mode fragrance, another one that made the top 10 list of most worn fragrances over the past few months. Next one is by the house of Inizio Parfums, and this one is Oud for Greatness. I believe by the time this video airs, the full review on this fragrance will be up on the channel. If you have missed it, please click on the cards in this corner so you don't miss out on the full review. But this is a beautiful fragrance, also very remarkable, kind of like a recurring theme in my collection. I don't consider it to be a very much animalic woody fragrance, so the name is misleading in that regard, but it has a greatness to it, so in that sense it really fits the composition. I've worn it a lot and it never bores really. This fragrance is beautiful. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. Next one on this list, it's going to be a tie between Sauvage Eau de Toilette and Sauvage Elixir. I've definitely wore Elixir most, but the Eau de Toilette also has gotten some use. And this one kind of fits the same need as Terre d'Hermes. I would say Terre is a lot more classy than Sauvage. But Sauvage also is the Swiss Army knife of fragrances. This one is just like a fragrance you spray on and go. If you just want to smell nice and you want to feel great, but you don't want to wear a fragrance that will be too unique or might be off-putting to someone who isn't really used to fragrances. So there you go. I've worn it quite a bit. I would say Elixir is the best out of the two. It's also a lot more potent, even though the Eau de Toilette is strong. This one is definitely a beast. It has more spice in it. It has that lavender amped up and the licorice note, which is truly remarkable. This fragrance kind of reminds me a little bit of Eau Noire by Dior. If you have smelled Eau Noire, it has a dark aromatic feel. This one kind of makes me think about that fragrance, but with a fresher and more elegant feel to it, more wearable than Eau Noire. Very dark, very mature. You know by now how Elixir smells. Beyond. Next one on this list is going to be by the house of Mancera, and this one is Red Tobacco. So Red Tobacco, another one that I've only recently started to enjoy, but as you can see, this kind of got a dent in it. You know, I've worn this quite a bit. I've seen comparisons to this one, you know. I wouldn't say one replaces the other. That's why this takes the next spot in the most worn fragrances list of 2022 going into 2023. I think Carlisle has more of a patchouli note. Carlisle is more sweet, and Red Tobacco is more smoky, especially in the opening. Even in the dry down, I think these two kind of differ a lot, where this one evolves around sandalwood and patchouli mostly. This one is a tobacco-based fragrance, and it has a lot of vanilla in it as well. But yeah, saffron, once again, a favorite note for me if I overlook the collection. Next up, we have another one by the house of Sergio, but again, this was the original iteration through the brand name Sospiro. So this, you can buy it again these days. This will be branded by Sergio. It's the same fragrance, the same potency, the same smell. Everything is identical. For those of you who don't know Erba Pura is like nuclear warfare. It's like a grenade. So could have easily named this video most powerful fragrances, but this is no exception, man. Really, this like Arabian Stonka, if you wear a couple of sprays too much, this will fill up the building and more. People will be smelling you from all over the place, you know. And if you're not careful, it will really choke people out, you know. You gotta be careful. This is a fruity, vanilla, ambery scent, and it has a certain freshness to it that makes it wearable throughout the year, but in my opinion, because of its potency, I would consider it to be best for the colder months. Let me know if you want a full review on Herba Pura. And the next one, and this will be the last one in this list, is going to be by the house of Latafa, and it's called Ishq Al Shuyuk Gold. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, I actually got this one from a friend. It's a fragrance I wouldn't really pick up myself if I wasn't given it, because it's quite hard to find these, you know. I don't really think they are sold in a lot of commercial stores. Really heavy bottle. I think the presentation is clean and, you know, simple but classy. This fragrance is supposedly very close to Rosendo Mateo number 5. Let me tell you, if it is, I'm really curious how that one wears on the skin, because this is beautiful. And if I look up only how much it costs, I am truly flabbergasted, really. This is a suede-like leather-based fragrance. Beautiful, beautiful, evolving fragrance that is really going to make an impression. It smells classy. I'd say this one is perfectly unisex. I believe this is also very romantic. So yeah, I've really gotten to use this a lot over the past couple of months. So here we go. These were the 10 most worn fragrances out of my entire collection. I hope you enjoyed this list. If there's any questions on one of the fragrances, please let me know in the comments. If you have any personal information you'd like to share about your own discoveries past couple of months, let's get a conversation started. And as usual, guys, I hope to see you again on this channel. See you in the next video.